Hello there and welcome to another Atlassian Cloud Updates video. This time we are taking a look at the changes from February 5th to February 12th, and I know I'm a little bit late on this one, and the reason for that one is that I've been working a little bit too hard for the past year, so I felt I needed a little bit of a break. So I took myself a couple of vacation days, but now I have rested a little bit, so it's back to business again, doing videos for you guys. So this week we didn't have a whole lot of new changes, but some of them are kind of interesting. So let's jump over to the Atlassian Cloud changes for February 5th to February 12th. So here we are now in the Atlassian Cloud changes blog post for February 5th to February 12th, 2024. So let's jump in and see what kind of fun stuff they have for us this week. So we start with join a discovered product as an admin. As an admin, I absolutely love this one because this one means that if someone is creating a new product within your organization, then first and foremost you will be informed that they have created it. And now what you can do is also you can join as an admin. So you can actually jump in there and you can see what they are setting up and what kind of impact it will actually have on you and your organization. Because one of the things that can happen when people are creating new products is that they are bringing in people that do not have a license in other products, and then your cost would go up. So this is really good, and it also allows me to go in and see who is actually setting this one up and who do I need to contact to take this, to remove this one from our organization. So this one is something that I give big hearts to. So big hearts to Atlassian for doing this one. This is something that I've been wanting for quite a while. So first, right up in the changelog today is one of the good ones. So thank you. Let's jump into the next one, and now we are in the Jira Platform. So the first thing that we get is now an improved look and settings for the filter results gadget. Now I don't know about you, but this is the one that I use the most. So what they have done now is that they have make it more aligned with how it looks like if you were using a search, for example, or a filter for it. So it becomes closer to that view. You can still add your columns and stuff like that, but they have brought it a little bit closer than to how it will look like if you are making a filter search instead. So this one I like a lot. And it wasn't really one of the things that I had top of my wish list, but yes, it's a good change. Jira Service Management. Last week we talked about the changes that they are doing now to make it easier to try new products, and now they are doing this one for Jira Service Management as well. So what this one means then is that anyone can basically set up their own one user license at any time if you have a free instance. So that means that they no longer have to rely on you as an administrator to get that product added so they can play around with it. And this is both good and bad, but since this one is only for free products, I think this one is fine to have. The next one is for reports that are now available for assets. And yes, this is a good start. Not that much of a report that is available, but you get a little bit more information on how many items you have, how many objects you actually have, and also how many schemas you have. So I guess that is a good thing. And this I think is easier to see because it's a little bit saying that you can go to assets and select reports and doesn't really tell you anything. So let's jump over to my demo section or to my demo instance and show you exactly how this one looks. So here we are now in the demo product or my demo instance, and as you can see here now on the right side of this one we now have first and foremost we have a little count. It says we have 41 objects, and then you will see view detailed usage, and if you click on this one it will actually take you to admin section. And this one will actually give you more information. So in this one you will have then the objects and the number of schemas, and you will have a breakdown per schema also. And you can take different actions here depending on what you want to do with it. So you will just get into the configuration itself, and then you can take different actions here. You will also have the virtual agent section here. This is not part of the rollout. This one actually came before. But this one will also show you then if you have a setup with a virtual agent, then you can also see, for example, how many assisted conversations you have and how many total conversations you've had from the virtual agent. This is really good for those of you who activated virtual agents, so you can actually get some statistics on that one. And these ones are all located here if you go to products in your admin section, and then under user service management you can now see feature usage. So that was that one. Let's jump back to the changelog and to see what other cloud changes has come out. So the next one is something that I think that we have talked about before. This is now the developer escalation for better collaboration with developers. This one is not new, so I don't know why this one has been posted here. If you don't know what developer escalations is, I think we can just jump over to my demo instance again and just show you how that one works. So here we are now in my JSM demo project, and to activate this functionality, you first need to go to product settings, and you need to go to features, and then you need to scroll down until you find developer escalations. And then if you turn this one on, you will see that you now have it available, but you need to have a request type first. So now it will automatically take us now into developer escalation, and we can now create a request type for it, or we can use one that we already created. So I can just assign this one to mine that I already created and confirm. And this one will now actually allow us to get, or we will get a new section for this one. So if we go back now to the project, and you will now see, let's go all the way back. So you will see that we have a new section here called developer escalations. So if I have this incident, for example, and that can be anything, you will now see that we have also a new button up here that is called Escalate Issue. And what this one does is will allow you basically to create a link ticket, but of a special type. So in this one you can now now we have created the issue type called developer escalation. It can be anything that you want to assign it to. And we have a request type for it, and that is developer escalation. And we can now choose, you probably know this already, that you can choose between the request type fields, which are basically the form fields for the request type. Or if I want, I can just have the issue type fields that is now in Jira. So basically the other one. And I think I did it the other way around. So that now it is the request type fields, and I haven't assigned anything. And if I turn this one off, now it is actually not the request type fields. Now it is actually the issue types field that you have in your project. But I can just add a name here, and we can just call it test. And we can create it. And now you have created now an issue here. And it will be a regular issue that you have like anyone else. The difference is that it is now, you can see it's a linked issue, but it now lives under developer escalations. So now you will see that you have this one here. And this one behaves differently. This is like a special queue. So you do not actually need to have an agent license in this project to see these. So these can be good, for example, if you have, what kind of scenario can we have? Let's say we have an issue that a customer have that we want to escalate to sales, for example, or to our development team. But we don't want to create something for them to act on. It's just something that we might need to have some help with. Then we can create an escalation, and they can access our project, and they can only see these things. And then they can go in and they can work with us on this. And then we can go back to the customer, and then they can fulfill that one for them. But like I said, this one has been out for a while. I don't know why this one shows up in this week's Confluence changelog, because it's nothing new. We've had this for a while. But just in case you haven't seen it, this is how it works, and this is where you can find it and how you can turn it on. So let's jump back into the the Atlassian cloud changes and see what else we have in there. Let's see what else we can find, and we are moving on to Jira Product Discovery. So this one is the same as we have for Jira Work Management, and that is the same thing that we had last week for other products. So now it's easier than for people in a free version to actually just create a single user license to try something out, and in this case it's your product discovery, and I'm pretty sure we had this one last week as well. So again, nothing really new, but just so you know, you can now have multiple products that you can have your users test out without your involvement if you are the admin for it. Next up is auto-filling date fields but this is only a relationship to Atlas. So what you need to have them is that you can have your Atlas projects that can be connected now to a date field in your year work management, or sorry, in your year product discovery. So rather than having you fill out that one yourself, it now can be auto-filled from Atlas. And I've talked before, I don't really understand the connections there, because Atlas is not usually the master for project management. It is usually in plans, at least if you're doing it in any form of portfolio management style. So I don't really understand why Atlas is now suddenly having a master role when it comes to project dates. But that's a topic for another time. Today, all you need to know is that you can now autofill date fields from Atlas in Jira Product Discovery. We move over to Confluence, and this one is now they're continuing. Last week we had a couple of macros that they were changing, and they're continuing with this one now. So this week they are now having the filter by label macro. So this one will allow you then to basically set up a little list of items, and it will then fetch based on label in multiple spaces if you want even. So what they have done for this one is the same as they've done for others. They have improved the naming for it, and they have a new icon for it, so it makes it easier to find it. And they have a simpler filtering experience to actually get it more organized in the drop-down menu. And overall they have made it, simplifying it to make it more easier to work with. So I'm going to make a video for this one also, so you can see the this macro in action now that they have changed it a little bit. And the next change is pretty much similar, or pretty much the same thing, but with another macro. So this one is the one called the recent updates, that will provide a list with the recent updates that has been done in the space. So here they have also cleaned things up and made it a little bit easier to see, and also they have more simpler, more easier way to work with the configuration. And next up is then the same thing that we had for the other product. It's faster and easier for end users to try new products. So if they want to try this one out and they are on a free version, then they can just activate it themselves with a single user license, so they can try it out. So this is the same now for basically all products that Atlassian have. So this one is just the same, make it easier for people to try things out. Let's see then. Next up is Whiteboards, Confluence Whiteboards, and apparently they are quite serious about getting feedback for this one, because they are not just giving you one way to do it, they're not giving you 2 ways to do it, but multiple ways to do it. So in order for you to provide feedback about Whiteboards, you can now do it from multiple sources. So you can do it from the More menu in the top right corner of the whiteboard, and you can select Give Feedback. You can also click on the Help icon in the top Confluence navigation and give feedback. And they will both lead then to the feedback form, the same feedback form. You basically have 2 entry points for it. And you also have the link in the Whiteboards template picker, Let Us Know, and that will also lead you to the updated feedback form. So a lot of ways to reach the same form. So I'm guessing they really, really want us now to provide feedback. Next up is Bitbucket, and this one is quite big actually, and really good. So what they are doing now is they are bringing Bitbucket into the administration part of your Atlassian experience. So before you had to go into Bitbucket and manage the users, and now they are part of your admin section. So like the other products that you have there, now you can also work with the users for Bitbucket directly into the admin section. So this one is really, really good, especially if you have Bitbucket. Otherwise, it might not be very exciting for you. And that was it. These were all the changes that we had this week now then for the Atlassian Cloud changes between February 5th and February 12th. And if you want to see more of these, then please subscribe to this channel, because I will do these every week, even when I take a few days vacation and these come out a little bit late. But they will come out eventually. So with this, I hope that you find some new fun things that came out, and I guess the only thing that remains for me to say now is I hope that you will have an awesome day and a great week.